Hey everyone. You probably saw those Reliance Industries quarterly numbers, right? But we're going deeper than just the headlines today. We're diving into their analyst call transcript.
Oh yeah, those transcripts are like gold.
Seriously, it's packed with insights you won't find anywhere else. So by the end of this, you'll not just know what happened, but like why it matters and where this giant company might be headed next.
The thing about Reliance is, it's huge, right? It's not just one company. Energy, telecom, retail.
It's like a snapshot of the whole Indian economy.
Exactly. So how they're doing matters a lot.
And their CFO, V. Srikanth, his comments are like, a puzzle this time. Revenues are up a bit, but profits dipped. Not the usual record-breaking quarter.
See, that's what makes it interesting. You got to dig deeper.
We will. So digital services and oil and gas are doing great, but chemicals and fuel refining kind of took a hit. What's going on there?
Is it just the market, or are they shifting gears on purpose? That's what we
Yeah.
got to figure out.
Okay, let's start with the digital boom. Kieran Thomas, the president of Reliance Jio, talked about their 5G rollout, and he made this point, that true 5G isn't just about speed.
It's the tech it enables, like changing how we actually use phones.
Right. He gave this example, Jio Activate. It's like a totally self-service way to activate your SIM card. Everything's on your phone. Aadhaar verification, eSIM.
Imagine never having to go to a store for that again.
That's kind of mind-blowing. But is this just about convenience for users, or is there a bigger play here?
Reliance doesn't do things randomly. This is about a better user experience, grabbing more market share.
Makes you think, could Jio become like the Apple of India? You know, with this ecosystem where everything just works together seamlessly?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
Okay.
But it's not just phones. Reliance is killing it in home broadband too, with Geo Air Fiber. Tripled their customer acquisitions.
Seriously, their growth is insane. They're aiming for 1 million new homes every month.
Every month. Yeah, that's crazy. Fixed wireless broadband is changing the game, and Reliance is leading the way. What if ultra-fast internet was normal, even in rural areas?
That would be amazing. But hold on, it gets even wilder. They're going all in on AI with Geo AI Cloud and Geo Brain. For those of us who aren't, like, tech geniuses, what are those?
So Geo AI Cloud is basically cloud storage,
Yeah.
but supercharged with AI.
Yeah.
Like all your data, photos, documents, it can be searched and analyzed in ways we haven't even thought of.
So it's not just storing stuff. It's like having an AI assistant that understands all your data.
Right. It's about smart document analysis, personalized recommendations, maybe even virtual assistants that actually get you.
Yeah.
And GeoBrain is how they're making it happen. It's a development platform for AI. And not just for them, they want other companies to use it too.
So they're building the tools and using them too. Smart. But let's talk about the retail business. It's huge.
Oh yeah, it's a big part of the story. Dinesh Taluja, their retail CFO, gave us the rundown.
And it's interesting, right? Growth was kind of slow this quarter, but the way they run things is strong. So there's more to it.
It's like May. There's a deeper story there.
Yeah. They're streamlining operations, focusing on businesses that make more money. They're okay with slightly slower growth now if it means more profit later.
Long-term thinking.
Yeah.
It means they're confident about their position. They're making strategic moves.
Like pruning a tree to make it grow stronger. I like that. Okay, now the part everyone's talking about. Oil and gas. Sanjay Barman Roy, their EMP president, reported record profits, and this is with global prices all over the place.
Shows how well they're operating. They're a major player in India's energy scene. Their decisions affect fuel prices, power generation, everything.
It's amazing how much Reliance is a part of everything in India. And they're not just producing oil and gas, they're also a big player in India's energy transition. They produce a ton of the country's natural gas, which is a lot cleaner than coal. So understanding energy trends isn't just about following the news, it's about your wallet, your lifestyle, the planet's future.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this deep dive into Reliance so fascinating. We're not just looking at a company. We're understanding the forces shaping India and the world. They're not just reacting, right? They're out there shaping things. What I find really interesting is how they're bringing all their businesses together. It's like
Weaving a web.
yeah, like a web. Each part supports the others.
It's true. Think about their retail stuff. They're not just opening stores. They're using their digital know-how to create this omni-channel experience.
Exactly. You can order groceries on GeoMart and pick them up at Reliance Fresh, or like browse clothes on AJIO and have them delivered.
It's super convenient, but it's also about using all that data and their logistics network to make it seamless.
They're kind of redefining retail in India. And it's not just retail, right? This whole data-driven, customer-focused thing.
Mhm.
They're doing it with telecom and energy, too.
It's all about knowing their customers, figuring out what they need before they even know it.
And that brings us back to the AI push. They're not just looking to automate things. They want to change how we live, how we interact with the world.
I know, right? Like, imagine your geophone knowing your schedule, your preferences, even your travel patterns.
And then it gives you personalized recommendations, does stuff for you, connects you to things.
It's cool, but kind of freaky at the same time.
Hmm.
But we're already seeing bits of that kind of AI personalization.
Yeah, and Reliance is taking it way further. And with all the people they reach,
The impact is going to be huge.
no doubt. So, back to our big question. Which area has the most potential to change things? Digital services, AI, or retail? Tough one.
I'm kind of leaning towards digital services. It feels like the base for everything else, the network, the data, the users. And with 5G and AI, the possibilities are...
Endless, yeah. They're creating a powerful platform. But don't forget about retail. They're reaching millions of people all over India, changing how people shop, even influencing social change.
It's true. They have a lot of power to shape the market. And we can't forget energy. As India grows, they'll need more and more energy.
And Reliance is in a great position to provide it. Plus, they're investing in renewables. They're playing the long game.
It's like they're thinking 50 years ahead.
At least. So we've got digital services innovating, retail shaping behavior, and energy fueling growth. It's impossible to pick just one.
I know. They all work together.
What's amazing is how they keep adapting and evolving. They're not just keeping up, they're creating the future.
And they're not afraid to shake things up. Like, remember Srikanth talking about streamlining and focusing on those high-margin businesses?
Tough decisions, but it shows vision.
Yeah.
They're pruning to grow stronger. It's like they're playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers.
Such a good analogy. They're always looking ahead, thinking about the next move. But for our listener, what does it all mean? They're trying to make sense of this company, right?
It means Reliance Industries is worth watching. They're not just a business, they're a force for change.
They're shaping India's future, but their impact goes beyond that.
Absolutely. Whether you're into tech, business, or the global economy, Reliance's story it's something else.
They're hard to put in a box.
And that's what makes them so interesting to analyze. Their story's not over, and the next chapter, I think it's going to be even more exciting.
I totally agree. So for our listener, what's the most important thing to take away from this deep dive?
I'd say pay attention to Reliance Industries. They're not just innovating for the sake of it. They're trying to solve real problems, make people's lives better. They're a force to be reckoned with.
They represent India's ambition and potential, and their journey has lessons for all of us, especially in a world that's changing so fast.
Totally. So as we wrap this up, keep exploring, keep asking questions. What are you seeing in your own life that connects with Reliance's story? What do you think they'll do next? How will it affect you?
These are big questions, but they're worth thinking about. Reliance is more than a company. They're a reflection of India on the world stage. Their story is like a tiny version of all the challenges and opportunities we're all facing.
And in this crazy world, it's important to stay informed, stay engaged, and stay curious. Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep.
We've covered a lot, haven't we? 5G, AI, retail, energy. It's clear Reliance is playing the long game here. But I gotta ask, knowing all this, what could happen next for them? Like in the next few years, what are some scenarios?
Well, one that seems pretty likely, they keep dominating Indian telecom. Maybe even become a big player globally.
I mean, they're already making moves with 5G and stuff like Geo-Activate.
Right, and all these innovations are making it easier for millions of people to get online, get into the digital economy.
That's a good point. It's not just about tech, it's about access.
Exactly.
And with those AI cloud services they're working on, could they get into like entertainment, finance, healthcare? Could they become the go-to for everything digital in India, maybe even the world?
It's definitely possible. That kind of power, they'd have so much data, so many connections, but, it's not a sure thing. There's a lot of competition out there.
Yeah, true. And like, what about regulations?
Yeah.
Especially for data privacy, things could change.
Oh, absolutely. Reliance is adaptable, but they're not invincible. Managing all that data, that's going to be key.
Yeah, any mess-ups with privacy or security, that could hurt people's trust.
And that's their most valuable asset.
So it's a balance, right? Using data for good, but keeping people's trust. It makes you think about the bigger picture, like the ethics of a company having this much influence.
For sure. As Reliance grows, they have to think about their impact, their responsibilities. Transparency, ethical data practices, that's going to be crucial.
It's wild, isn't it? This company that started with textiles is now leading these huge changes in tech and society.
It shows how they can reinvent themselves. They're not afraid of new stuff, even if it shakes things up.
Right. Which brings us back to why we're doing this deep dive. It's not just about what Reliance is doing, it's about what it means for the future. What should our listener take away from all this?
Think about the implications. What excites you about what Reliance is doing? What worries you? How do you see their story connecting with your life, with the future you imagine?
Those are some big questions.
They are, but they're worth thinking about. Reliance isn't just a company. They represent India's ambitions on a global scale.
Their story is like a tiny version of everything we're all facing in this crazy, changing world.
And to navigate it all, we got to stay informed, stay engaged, stay curious, keep learning, exploring, and diving deep. That's what it's all about.